Traitor! Get him!
Here's his file. Nathan Seeker, April 115. Advanced symptoms of mutation were found in the child that his parents were hiding. The mutant was immediately transferred to the mine of Eos Chasma. Parents were sterilized during the procedure.
Eos Chasma, that's southeast of Ophir.
There's an addendum. June 119, the mutant formerly known as Nathan Seeker was transferred upon request AA-1532. The details of it are classified top secret. AA is the code that the Army usually uses. He was then moved as part of a military operation.
My father disappeared January 119, before the kid was transferred. So weird. What do you think's behind this story of a top secret file? What the hell does the Army have to do with all this? There's gotta be more.
I don't know, but we'll no longer learn anything else here. We should leave before we get spotted.
Hi, Zach.
Hello, Amelia.
Zachariah, you look good. Better than I. As if that was hard to accomplish.
Welcome, welcome. What's your pleasure? What are you looking for? Well,
I need some information.
If it's about anything you see in here,
Hello, Phobos.
Hello, Zachariah.
What can you tell me about Ophir's mutant pen?
You saw for yourself. Violent slave drivers and harsh work conditions have reduced mutants to beasts, to the point where even some find themselves yearning to be petted. I do not hate humans, you know that. But when I think about that place, I feel outbursts of hatred. I would like to break the walls and see my brothers and sisters get out of that hell. Someday, I think that I'll do it. I'll destroy the pen.
What does Noctis represent for you?
It is the city of our allies. Without it, Mutant Valley would have probably never come into existence, even if some of them think the opposite. This town is welcomed and still welcomes many runaway mutants. Here they can free themselves from the servile state they were in. Noctis is somehow the freedom school for many of them. Of course, it remains a human city, and segregation is sometimes present even if it is not official. And I don't completely agree with Dandolo's decisions, but overall it is a place that I love that boasts of mixing everyone together, of bringing all philosophies into dialogue with each other, and of welcoming the hopeless.
Zachariah!
How long have you known Amelia?
Since she was a kid. She was quite a cute child, yet so agitated. She's actually no different. She is still agitated and doesn't realize the risks she takes. Mark was more cautious. I really hope that she'll become more careful. I would be very sad if something happened to her. Sometimes I have the feeling that she thinks I'm a tiresome old man. It would be a problem. I mean, I'm not that annoying, am I?
Hi, Zach. How are...
Hello, Amelia. You must have traveled a lot. Could you tell me more about what you discovered?
You know, when I'm being sent out to explore, it's for prospecting. I drive around, take samples, map out the area, that kind of thing. I discovered 2 mines last year. We'll put them into service once we connect them with the shadow paths. Wow, it doesn't sound as exciting now that I think about it. But I don't care. Despite all of this, I can go almost anywhere. I see landscapes that others will never see, and sometimes I stumble across amazing places. I'm not doomed to remain under a shell of metal.
Amelia?
Maybe if you weren't so damn... you, I might not have. But you know I have. And it's been a hell of an adventure, no?
You're quite the traveler, aren't you? I admire your bravery to go anywhere.
Ah, shucks. But I'm not being brave. This is just what I was born to do. Most people don't get it. I mean, I get there's a lot of scary shit out there, but what's the other option? Miss out on the amazing stuff too? Like Noctis, right? A place most people will die believing is a myth. And I'm hoping Noctis is just the start of what we'll discover. Once you find that settler city you're looking for, I can't even imagine the shit we'll dig up. An untouched city? I'm already dreaming about it. Even if I was pissed about you ripping me away from abundance before, I'm glad you did now. I feel really fucking free.
Hello, Phobos.
Hello, Zachariah. What can I do for you?
What's the Mutant Nation? You created it, right?
It is a little overblown, but I was one of its founders, among many others. Of course, other mutants were living outside the city as runaway slaves, hidden here and there, stealing whatever they could find in order to survive. A small community had settled in Noctis and benefited from the hospitality of the merchants, who allowed them to move around freely. However, we did not have any way to defend ourselves or plan a future. We were all spread out. A few of us decided to get together. We found a place, and we soon started doing it up, bringing in equipment and erecting houses. As for me, I especially wanted to free as many brothers and sisters as possible. So I went back to Ophir, and I realized that nobody cared about mutants, especially if they didn't look very smart. I began to help dozens of them escape. And our nation soon began to grow. There are a lot of us now, and I hope that all mutants will be able to live there someday.
Hey.
Hey, back.
What happened that day?
I had a surge. A big one. One even the Masters never saw coming, literally. Before they even knew what was happening, I electrified everyone and everything around me. It screamed like thunder from my body, before the ceiling itself finally collapsed in on me. I woke up in the infirmary without an arm, surrounded by all those powerful Masters who stood there shaken, whispering, their eyes still filled with fear. Then everything went dark again, and I woke up in a sand sail.
Why aren't you with your family?
Right, my family. They were small-time merchants. I'm sure real proud their son was gifted with Technomancy and was joining the school. But they were also scared as shit of me for the same reason. We're all scared of what we don't understand. It's why so many fear us both. Not that I'm sure any of the Masters even asked them to take me back. It was more important to them that I disappear for good, to hide what happened, keep the illusion of their infallibility intact. Also, to hide the fact they had people among them who had the power to take down entire buildings. No, I had to go. In some ways, they even did me a favor.
And you never tried to reconnect with them? Even after you got free?
No, I looked for him. Even tracked down my father, who was just this old man. Didn't even recognize me. And if he did, he'd probably just hate me for what I've become. A crippled outcast, not something you'd put your pride in. So I let it lie, just walked away.
What about your gift? I thought people died if they didn't use their fluid.
It's a myth. There are rogue technomancers out there. Not a lot, but a few. They know how to control their fluid surges. Probably the only thing that piece of shit Marcello could take credit for. He introduced me to one of those guys, and after that, I learned to control it the hard way. The irony, no? I'll never be a Technomancer now, but I control the fluid better than any of Abundance's masters. Not for power, just to make sure my own brain doesn't fry.
What have you been up to since you left?
What have I done? Well, after spending 10 years of my life as a slave trying to pay that piece of shit Marcello back for what he called my debts, traveled in his luggage hold, did his dirty jobs, whatever he needed to get his business going. Carried crates, drove sand sails, shoveled sand, ran errands, but mostly just picked his customers' pockets. I traveled a lot, though, if I'm going to find any silver lining in it, and have earned my damn place here in Noctis. Even if the price of that has been rarely sleeping in a real bed or reading a book that wasn't about accounting.
Should have remembered you. Back when we were kids, the world just revolved around you.
Really? How so?
know it nearly killed you, but you were so gifted. While the rest of us worked, Technomancy just came so easy to you. It was amazing to watch.
The fact that it was easy is what cost me so much. The high I got from manipulating so much fluid was... well, you saw the result. If I talked for 1,000 years, I couldn't even touch the tip of the regret I have.
You can't blame anyone but our professors. They should have known better. How could you? They just got sucked into watching your power like the rest of us. It was hypnotic.
Too bad all that power isn't enough to let me go back in time and change it all. But I guess what's done is done.
Hi.
Could you tell me more about Noctis?
It's a wonderful city when you come from Ophir like me. You can meet people from all corporations, but especially merchants, thieves, and mercenaries. All these people were born outside a caste, for the most part. They have a different vision from us of what a city should be like, and you can feel it. For them, a city is above all a place of exchange, of rest after their travels. That's where they find refuge after a hard time. That's where they make serum or lose everything. Noctis breathes way more than Ophir ever will. It is a city where all opinions have a voice. It is a far more creative and cherished city than any other corporate city. Every citizen would be ready to fight for it. Not because we order them to do it, but because it is their refuge. And without it, they wouldn't feel at home anywhere else.
What's in the nearby canyons? Does Noctis use them?
Sure. They're mostly used to navigate from the city to the rest of the world, but also serve as a defensive hardpoint. Any enemy of Noctis would be left vulnerable while going through the layout of the canyons. I've heard that some groups have hideouts there where they store treasures. That's surely a myth. On the other hand, I know that you can find colonial ruins in poor condition there.
How this dome will match up to the one in Ophir.
The one in Ophir? That was your Technomancer hideout, right? I was always curious, but I wasn't allowed near it. Due to confidential shit.
Yes, it used to be some sort of museum. It was a fascinating place.
Looks more like a pile of rocks to me. Let's hope this other one is in better shape. Otherwise, that doohickey thingamajig you're looking for will be really hard to find.
If the dome is really off the grid, then it could still be in good condition. But we should be ready for anything. The scavengers could have beat us to the punch and scrapped and sold it. How big is it? Should we be able to spot it from afar?
I wouldn't bet on it. If I understood correctly, there'll be some small housing domes, but what we're interested in is the archives of these ancient inhabitants.
Heritage. What a funny little... The offspring of those who built the dome probably reside in our cities. Or perhaps even one of us is a great... And yet here we are, chasing after old ruins so we can rummage for answers on our ancestors. How remarkably absurd, isn't it?
We have the turmoil to thank for that.
I find humans' curiosity towards the domes curious. Why do you pursue them and other artifacts with such zealotry?
I don't want to be mean, Phobos, but as a mutant, you've become something else. Isn't it hard to keep revering something that brings back memories of those who used and exploited you?
Yes, but no matter what happens, Earth is a forbidden fruit, and for that, we choose to forge ahead and not dawdle in the past.
I can't wait to see it. I've never seen an intact colonial dome. There are only a few ruins in the canyon leading to Noctis, and they are in such a terrible state. Most are so badly destroyed that you'd need a pretty strong imagination to call them domes.
I really hope we find something there. With Great Master Ian dead and our archives lost, it's pretty much our only hope of getting back in touch with Earth.
Man, this shit is the shit, you know? Open road and a view to boot. About damn time, too. Need to just stretch my tracks.
You might be getting a little too close to your rover. Maybe you should give each other some space. Could be healthy for both of you.
And you seem like someone who shouldn't judge someone else. Why'd you want me to drive you out here?
Trying to find a way to contact Earth. This is something every Technomancer is looking for.
There's a way here? Really? Well, I don't know about that. I like your optimism, if nothing else. So you
Communicate with Earth? Incredible. It's definitely a long shot, but one way to take it.
We find evidence of the scientific base of the Great Master's travel energy. I think we can make contact with Earth. And if not me, another Technomancer someday will.
Even so, it's a dream. Equal parts fascinating and disturbing. Do you really think they still want us? Especially since, after all this time, they've never once made contact?
I wouldn't know, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Fortunately, this is beyond my skill level.
Check out the inside of these boxes. Some weirdly dense shit. I'm thinking insulation? What the hell were the settlers doing with it? Check out the inside of these boxes. Some weirdly dense shit. I'm thinking insulation? What the hell were the settlers doing with it? Hi, Zach. How are...
Hello, Amelia.
Check out the inside of these boxes. Some weirdly dense shit. I'm thinking insulation? What the hell were the settlers doing with it? Check out the inside of these boxes. Some weirdly dense shit. I'm thinking insulation? What the hell were the settlers doing with it? Check out the inside of these boxes. Some weirdly dense shit. I'm thinking insulation? What the hell were the settlers doing with it? Check out the inside of these boxes. Some weirdly dense shit. I'm thinking insulation? What the hell were the settlers doing with it?
I'm real glad you're here. Would have had a hell of a time opening that gate alone.
Happy to help. Once we... I'm going back to the rover. This dome's exciting, but you have enough company as it is.
Zachariah Rogue in the flesh. Guess some rumors are true after all. Time to take out the trash. Kill them all!
I'm real glad you're here.
Happy to...
one giant asshole. If there's one thing from Abundance I don't miss, it's rats like him.
Let's go. This tablet's obviously ancient, but the text's undecipherable. This'll make for one hell of a translation job. Great Master Ian's the only one who could have read it. Maybe Dandolo's heard of another Technomancer who could, though. Can't do this. Can't believe Alan was here.
Talk about climbing the corporate ladder, right? That fucker's now the alpha technomancer of Abundance.
How can he vouch for Victor, the man who caused the death of our great master? I knew Alan was ambitious, but to that extent?
There will always be men who will sell out for phony rewards. Give him a medal, a pompous title, and he'll ask you where and when to turn in his mother. This infection of uncurbed greed happens even among mutants. Just look around. You've seen the pen. Some of the Guardians are mutants themselves. And they can be the harshest of them all, disciplining for the sake of breaking in their batons.
You taught your rival a lesson. Now we should know better than to run after you.
If I know Alan, it'll only get worse.
At least we found some information, even if we can't read it. How's your ancient hieroglyphics, Zach?
No, I can't. Nobody I know can, except Great Master Ian. It's a coded language that's nearly impossible to learn.
Dandolo will find you a translator. Let's hope it's worth it, and not something boring like a soup recipe.
We should be relieved we saved the tablet. I can't imagine what the traitor would have done if he got his hands on it.
Even if he couldn't read it himself.
Zachariah, what can I do for you?
They found some ancient documents. Looks like they date back to the settlers, but they're written in a language I can't read.
And I thought you Technomancers were so well versed in our old dialects.
Maybe in Aurora. In Abundance, we're soldiers first and last. We learned some colonial knowledge during training, but the languages are barely taught. The Great Master was the only one who had that kind of knowledge.
So, now you need a Technomancer from Aurora to translate. I might know of someone. A renegade of sorts who left Shadowlair to become a hermit. Word was, though, your former comrades captured him. If he managed to hide what he was, he's probably a captive in one of their forced labor camps.
Then getting to him won't be easy.
Exactly. But, if you want your document translated, you might just have to find a way.
I'm looking for my friend Scott. He just disappeared. Any idea where he could have gone?
Can't say that I have. He's not at the caravansary, though. If you want, I can check with my informants. Might have joined the caravan that just left, though. Your pal looked like he was missing Ophir, honestly. Then again, maybe he was kidnapped. Never can tell.
Just let me know if you hear anything. I need to find him. Thanks for the help.
My pleasure, as always.
I think I know the camp Dandolo mentioned to you. It sounds like their main camp, so I wouldn't be surprised if the man you're looking for is there. And I want to go with you. Have a few things to settle there. This is important to me, Zachariah. What they do to the prisoners there is inhuman. I just want to help as many as I can.
You're not telling me something, are you?
I was a prisoner there once. I can't tell you what they did to me. I'm just asking you. Take me with you.
I get why you'd want to free him, but it also makes me nervous about letting you tag along. If we get there and you let your emotions run away with you, it's my life you're risking too.
You know me better than that. You've seen me keep my cool in the worst situations. Think about it all you want, but I'm the one who knows that camp by heart, remember? It's gonna be more dangerous for you to go in without me.
Expect at this camp.
Judging from Nisha's face, not something pretty. I feel like I'm driving a hearse.
Whatever you're thinking, it's 1,000 times worse. You're taking us to hell.
But aren't they called work camps?
More like prisons, where the primary goal is to break spirits and destroy free will. Their final products are submissive beings akin to farm animals, and their methods end up destroying some and brainwashing the others.
This Aurora Technomancer we search for must be hiding in plain sight. He'll be very discreet, so we'll have to look for someone normal. Almost too normal.
I hope we're able to free the other prisoners. We could help them get a fresh start in Noctis.
I know you want to sit with the cool kids, but my rover can only hold so many people. Sorry, can't take everyone.
If we can distract the guards, I can get Dandolo to send a rescue team. It wouldn't be the first time he's done that.
If Dandolo can bring the manpower, we can bring the diversion. We'll free them.
Words alone cannot express my hatred for this place.
I warned you.
You misunderstand, Zach. Coming back here free, armed, with my rights returned to me, it's priceless. Thank you for bringing me here. I can't tell you how much it means to me.
Can't go through here.
Unfortunately, this is beyond my skill level. I won't be able to force this lock. I need a key. Need a key to open this door. Fortunately, this is beyond my skill level. Need a key to open this door. Nisha, are you alright? Fortunately, this is beyond my skill level. Need a key to open this door. Need a key to open this door. Hey, are you Professor Charles Seeker?
I am? And you? You are... What does a Technomancer want with...
Long story, Professor. Just know I'm a friend of Scott's. We looked for you in Ophir. Even got our hands on some of your notes, but,
My research notes? On Technomancers? How? I coded them to make sure those ASC thugs couldn't read them. Did you manage to read them?
I just gave him to Scott.
Oh, good. Good. I'm sure he deciphered them with no trouble. Scott's eccentric, I know, a little unstable even, especially since he lost his child. But even still, he is the greatest mind in abundance. A genius who's focused his research on people like you. Technomancers. I'm sure my notes, which I pray no one but you and Scott will see, will be a great service to him. I was able to prove nothing, really, but my work pointed to a high probability that the abilities of your kind stemmed from what Earthlings called gene therapy.
Not sure what that means, Professor.
Yes, of course. They modified genes to cure disease, provoked mutations, modifications that got passed on to offspring as well. Look, in theory, at least. A theory I will never get to test now, I'm afraid. Being held here. Well, I suppose it's better this way. Undeniably incredible research, but research that could also, unfortunately, lead to the enslavement of your kind. Cast you as just another mutation to be contained, you know? Afraid of what they don't know. And while I'm sure there was good intention in their creation of your mutation, no one can say what that reason is.
Can you keep this a secret, Professor?
My lips are sealed. Now and forever. No one else will ever be privy to my research.
Thank you, Professor. Take care.
Do I know you? Yeah. Yeah! You're the guy that sent me to that hellhole! Motherfucker, you're dead!
I'm looking for an old man. He's from Aurora, and he used to be a Technomancer.
Well, you're looking for him in the wrong place. It's true that there's a guy with a funny way of speaking, but I can't believe that he's from Aurora. That sounds crazy. What would he be doing here?
Who is that man?
His name's George. An old guy, as you said, and the way he speaks sounds funny. Anyway, as if he were making fun of us with complicated words. He's a mechanic, though.
This could mean that he studied within the elite in a corporation that were a little precious. Thank you. Hello, I'm looking for someone.
A man? He doesn't mingle with men. Men avenge themselves upon them, so he stays away.
All right, I understand. Goodbye. Hello. I'm looking for a prisoner. An old man from Aurora. He's a former Technomancer.
There are no Technomancers here. He would be killed right away or sent to a camp as a prisoner of war. You're in the wrong camp. This here's a rehabilitation camp for deviants, dissenters. It's supposed to get us to think right again. Sorry, I don't see.
Maybe he hid what he was. He used to live far from the corporation. Maybe they mistook him for a deviant, an outcast. But he must have kept some of his mannerisms or accent from Aurora.
That could be George. I've always thought that he had a funny way of talking. He works as a mechanic. He really looks burned out. But the funny thing is, I once heard him say he was barely 50. You think he was at least 20 years older. He must have had a really bad life, worse than ours.
That could be him. Technomancy tends to age us faster. Thank you. Hello. I'm looking for an old man, a Technomancer.
Oh, you're knocking at the wrong door. There's no Technomancer here. See, we're here to think in a politically correct way. Besides, you don't look like someone who's politically correct. Leave me alone. I don't want to go back into the room.
Hello. I'm looking for a man. A man in your age range. A Technomancer.
A Technomancer? Here? You must be mistaken, my boy. There is no Technomancer here. The prisoners of war are sent elsewhere. Here we are taught to think like good citizens of abundance.
How old are you? 70?
50 years old, but I had a hard life. Unfortunately, that leaves its mark.
Like Technomancy takes its toll as well.
I don't know what you mean. I don't know anything about Technomancy. You should talk to someone else.
I've heard that mechanics isn't your forte. It's a good hideout, isn't it?
The person who told you that I'm not good is simply bad-mouthing me.
If you say so. But this doesn't explain the way you speak. Polished for a mechanic. Listen, let's cut to the chase. Just let me look at your temples and that'll be it.
You are the pain in the neck, you know that. Very well. I am the one you're looking for, and your relentless questioning puts me in jeopardy if the word gets out here.
I specifically came to this camp in order to find you. We brought back a dome lost in the sands, a tablet that I'm unable to translate.
It is written in the settlers' coded language, one they use for the important data. By all means, I can translate it, but this type of thing can take time, and I can't do it here.
Come with us to Noctis. I am sure that you'll find a place to stay.
Noctis?
The city of the merchants. It's an independent city. There you won't have to fear Aurora or Abundance.
Well then, I'll follow you.
It shows enormous strength and courage to be able to hide so much in such a place.
You did the same thing, Phobos. Went back into the pen in Ophir, passing yourself off as someone else.
Perhaps in some ways, but I was driven by a will to save my people. What is it that drives that man?
Let's go. I'm glad to leave this place.
Me too. I don't care where you take me. Anywhere is better than prison.
It stank like fucking death in there. I don't know what to say. I feel ashamed. I'm from Abundance. What they do to people in there... inhuman.
To think that even Ophir looks like a paradise after seeing such a place. I am grateful, however, for we managed to save a few souls.
You okay, Nisha?
No, not really. I don't want to talk about it right now.
I get that the place could have triggered some bad memories. I'm sorry, Nisha.
Solo, this is Patience, the Technomancer you told me about.
Ah, nice. Free of that shadow-forsaken labor camp. Must have been a living hell. A sincere pleasure to meet you.
Yes, nice to be free, but to be honest, I'm now stuck with no place to go. Can't and won't go back to Aurora. And Abundance was always so accommodating that I can't imagine the hospitality if they had known about my talents. Damn the ASC. And ever since my little desert refuge has been discovered, it's become a tad less cozy. Here I am, no roof, no real belongings. Only thing I have is this guy here who won't leave me next for him.
Well, I can't help with Mr. Mancer's needs for a translator, but I can give you a roof. It's the Noctis way, for we say, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Welcome to your new home, Patience. There are some empty houses in the northern part of the city. I'm sure we can set you up there.
Thank you, and a sincere pleasure to meet you, Dandolo.
Looks like Patience is gone. Judging by the mess, I doubt he left willingly. Bet you all the serum in the world the fucking ASC's behind all this. They need to be stopped before they overrun Noctis. And I need to find Patience. Fuck, and the tablet. Fortunately, this is beyond my skill level.
Welcome.
After trailing the groups you mentioned, it's obvious that they each have a few people among them who aren't just looking for you, but purposely seeding unrest in the population, and maybe pushing for an uprising.
Then we need to stop it.
Here's a description of everyone we found. Give me your map. There. I've marked every place you can find them. Shouldn't be hard for you to get them now.
Rid these groups from Noctis, but I am under no illusion to believe that, even with that defeat, Victor would be finished here.
One step at a time, then?
One step at a time, then. Yes. Whatever it takes to keep the city safe. Where's the next group?
Zachariah, I was just starting to worry.
What for?
Bad news, I'm afraid. The ASC's not only in Noctis, but they're starting to threaten its safety. I know you did what you could to get rid of their spies, but if you stay here, they'll come back. And now we may be open to a direct attack from Abundance. I'm sorry, Zachariah. They're after you and your friends. I can't risk the safety of all my people for just you.
So you're turning your back on us?
No. I would never turn my back on a friend. I set a meeting for you with the Technomancers from Aurora. Their arms are open. You'll be safer from Victor with them by your side. You just can't stay here.
Why are you helping me?
A scratch on the back for what I hope will be a long-term relationship, Mr. Mancer. They'll meet you under one of their shadow paths. Take the map. You'll be well received. Now get going. As soon as you can gather your things and friends together. The longer you stay, the more danger those of us around you face.
How'd you manage to get in touch with Aurora's Technomancers?
Wasn't easy, but we have agents in all of the corporation's cities. The equivalent of Nisha, but not as easy on the eyes, lives in Shadowlair and was our point on this little mission. Their Technomancers are quite knowledgeable, powerful, and I assume the idea of having one of their counterparts from Abundance join them and give them a little upper hand probably put a few smiles on their faces. But their chief's name, it's slipping my mind. Profanity? No, something more. Chastity, promiscuity, generosity. Yeah, that's the one. Their chief's named Generosity, I think. He's quite chummy with the Dowser wisdom, I hear. Shouldn't be too hard for him to make you feel welcome. So set your mind at ease.